I can hear it now. Van takes the field, and out of that eastern tunnel pour 215 well-drilled, well-disciplined Michigan bandsmen. They pour over the eastern sideline, they pour in the big block down, and they play the greatest college fight song ever written.
All right. Hey. Well, good start. Well,
yeah, well, we got a webcam now. So now we've got a webcam now.
Yeah.
So
hey, I mean, I got startled because of how good you look in crystal clear high definition.
I am a high definition guy this week.
You are. You're looking pretty.
Is it Saturday yet, by the way?
I know. This week is taking entirely too long. What day is it? October?
It's Tuesday, and I realized this when I woke up this morning that it was Tuesday, because I was like, it's got to be Saturday now, right? Or at least like Friday or Thursday. But nope.
Really, as far as this game goes, I was sitting there angry on the couch, right? I was sitting there thinking, can we just put this away? And then every time Shea took the ball to run, and kept it around the edge, I'm just sitting there like biting my fingernails, hoping he pops back up and hands the ball to the ref. And, the cheap shots just kept coming too. This game was really, it got hard to watch.
It was hard to watch. I mean, anytime you get the O'Neal crew, you're going to have that, right? Like we had them for Nebraska, and you remember everything going on with that game, or maybe you've forgotten at this point because there was a blowout, but it should have been like another 20 points. And there was a face mask that like they didn't call until all the fans yelled, "Look at your replay ref," and then they called it.
Simon Stepanek, right? That's his name.
Yep.
Not surprisingly from Ohio. I found that out when I went to find out who he was. I started Googling him during the game. He's a big guy. And, the thing I really don't like in football is hits on a defensive player. Chase Winovich was down. If a guy is down and facing the other way and you're looking at his back, don't hit him. You just can't hit him. And, I heard people defending that play.
So like the same guy had a horrible hit on Monet earlier. Mm-hmm. And then after the Monet hit, Winovich stepped on his leg. And then that was a retaliation for Winovich stepping on his leg, which goes back to these freaking refs, because you remember the Michigan State game was getting chippy. I know we're getting off topic and we're several minutes into this, but the State game was getting chippy as hell because they started with with the whole Devin Bush thing and their little sweet, cute little march and everything. And, the referees knew it, and they knew that they had to make sure they were calling things. So they were flagging things that should never have been called, and I was fine with it. That's what you got to do in a game like that.
Yeah.
And in this game where players are starting to get chippy, and you can see it, and you can see that they're hitting each other after the play, you got to call personal fouls and look for personal fouls. And that's a thing that every rep knows. Down to high school, they know that, because you have to start getting calls on these guys so that they realize that they have to stay within the whistles. And
well, especially in college football now with the 2 personal fouls and you're gone. It's essentially like a yellow card in soccer, right? You get one warning on something dirty and then you're gone, right? I mean, and that shuts it down. But the thing John O'Neal doesn't do is use any sort of logic, reason, or thought.
They don't see it. These guys are the perfect example of referees who watch the game and aren't doing their jobs. So they're not watching what's going on. They're not watching it from a ref standpoint. They're just watching football. They watch the ball all the time. They miss all sorts of things. Teams know to hold a lot more when these guys are out there because you just can get away with it. And then they flag things based off the score. Don't get me into the O'Neal crew because there's
I did. So much. I baited you into this. You said, no, we're not going to talk about O'Neal. It only took me about 5 seconds of O'Neal, of Simon Stepanek talk, and we just got 4 minutes of Seth.
It's not Stepanek. It's these guys. Now it's a player safety issue, okay? And it's a clear player safety issue.
Yes, yeah.
And at this point, the Big Ten has to suspend them and not let them referee ever again. And it's not just O'Neal. It's whoever it is on the crew. They got to look at these guys and see who's doing it because It's been happening for years, and it's a player safety issue now, and the Big Ten has to step in.
Well, and player safety is paramount. I mean, you got guys taking cheap shots. Here's the thing, Seth. I'm going to ask you a question, and then we'll look at this end of the half, sort of what Michigan screwed up, what we did wrong. But here's my question. Mm-hmm. John O'Neill or Ted Valentine?
Ted Valentine, heartbeat.
Yeah? TV Teddy?
Oh, yeah. Give me TV Teddy in the heartbeat.
Even bouncing down the court,
I'm not going to say I love TV Teddy, but oh my God, that guy at least calls things the same way on the road and at home. And he doesn't, I want to say he wasn't a terrible ref. He was a terrible ref.
No, so I think he
just called things too tight.
He calls the game well, but here was the TV Teddy script, and I know we're way off topic, but this for basketball fans, here's what TV Ted does. TV Ted loves to play. He's like the heel in wrestling, right? The guy who is okay, I'm going to take a couple cheap shots, but then he gets the crowd on his side. And if you're at home, he's going to get you mad at him so that he can make himself look even better in the second half when he flips and starts calling it on the away team. So you can expect a really poorly called first 30 minutes. And the last 10 minutes, you've got 6 men on the floor because TV Ted is coming to the rescue. And that dance, that skip down the court for a charging or a block, oh man, that's going your way in the last 10 minutes of the game. Next time you see TV Ted on TV, it won't be on the Big Ten Network anymore. Thankfully, but watch for this. He plays the same script every game, and it's beautiful.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I would take that 1,000,000 times over O'Neill, who is just bogglingly bad at his job and has been for so long.
With that in mind, let's talk about a play this week.
All right. So this is your first play. You've got 1:32 and 1 timeout. I don't know what this play is. Are you just rolling out and dumping off? Did he freak out and see something? Well, at this point, you just got to throw it away. If you're going to end this play, throw it away. Don't, lose more time. So
right.
Already,
so we go from 1:33, and then right now he's tackled with 1:23. We're still walking up to the line, trying to get a play in. And the first sin that you didn't even notice right here is if that's a play, can we come out in a 2-minute drill with 2 plays called? Do we really have to wait for the sideline here?
All right, so Indiana goes to their pass rush set, and they biff the thing that they biffed earlier, too, because these safeties are terrible. And now you get a big chunk play to Gentry.
Yep, we're down. Right? So minute 1 left, get a big chunk play. Gentry, the team gets up to the line. Shea's checking, yep. Right?
And now watch this. 2 guys fall down at the same time. Those are both big defensive tackles. Right?
I honestly didn't notice that before, but 2 guys.
Oh God, we were booing like crazy.
2 guys just happened to. Oh look, 2 guys just happened to be injured right at the exact same time. Perfect.
All right, so now it starts again with 58 seconds, and Michigan wastes another 12 seconds getting this play call going. So you just came out of a timeout, basically. You just had the opportunity to come forward, and they still waste 12 seconds after this, after the restart of the clock.
Yeah, see, to me, that one's unforgivable right there.
You just had basically a timeout from the 2, fake injuries there. So, use that and be ready to call a play. Instead, the play is still coming in when they start the clock up again. And the refs kind of helped that by, they looked at the injured players and then immediately got the play rolling again. So
yeah, and now we run the ball, right? So now
so now you run the ball. Which what are you doing? Why are you running it? You have a chance to throw the ball into the end zone a couple times.
We just picked up 5 yards in essentially 31 seconds right there, right? 30 seconds for 5 yards, trying to put up some points in it. We're losing right now. Another run. Indiana's sitting on our guys because they know that they can keep it going, and Weiners has to pull that guy off of there. So now you have to call a timeout, right? Because you didn't get it. And here's our timeout. And then out of this, Tom Allen, actually, Indiana's players weren't set, and Michigan and Indiana have to call a timeout here too. But Michigan was set there. And they had something cool out there. They're obviously going to run the ball, so you knew what they were going to run. This is fine. This is what you do, right? Run Ben Mason. He runs into a guy. He pushes the guy over because he's Ben Mason. Fine. Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah.
Right? You got your first down. Now you're supposed to get up and clock it. They have a second. They have
19,
called, so
18, 17, 16, 15.
But, I mean, you can
14.
just clock it.
I mean, yeah, you have 15 seconds left. You're not going to get 4 plays off. Clock the ball, 2 throws to the end zone, field goal. That's worst case.
All right, but I mean that's the lowest, that's the least sinful here, because whatever, they had 4 more seconds to get this play set, and this play should be fine. But dude, first of all, McCune, you have to run that to the end zone. Second of all, you can't throw that short of the sticks.
I mean, at that point, I give it to Mason again. You know, if you're going to throw short, give it to your best short yardage guy, right? I mean, at that point, all you're doing is essentially a run right there. I mean,
that is the worst sin. That is the worst sin right there.
Yeah.
You cannot throw that ball short of the sticks.
No.
You're inviting that exact thing to happen, and there's nothing you can do. Now, 8 seconds should be plenty of time to clock it, but
it should be 12 seconds if we had just clocked it before, but we didn't. Right.
Yeah.
So we've already
20
wasted
seconds if they hadn't just run a bad play to start this whole drive. Right. And now and he picks up, tries to get the ref drops it. That guy, IU player, comes over and kicks the ball and kicks it out of the ref's hands. First of all, like, the ref afterwards told Harbaugh he didn't mean to kick it, which is not the rule. That is not the rule at all. You don't mean to be offsides. And then, here we go. Ready? Tom Allen celebrates like he just won the Super Bowl.
I mean, throws his headset, like
jumps into the arms, runs off the field,
starts playing the bass drum at the Michigan band who's lining up, getting ready behind.
But dude, this is Tom Allen's program. This is why I believe Tom Allen is not going to ever rebuild Indiana. Like, he came in, he made that defense fine, but dude, that's your Super Bowl. All you did was you gave up a huge chunk play because your team's way too badly coached. Then you had like a whole bunch of luck happen because Michigan didn't run the right plays. And then you get away with a penalty because your guy was because you just happened to have the worst routes on there, and you're celebrating.
Yeah.
Congratulations, dude.
Congratulations. Good job.
You did so well, Tom Allen.
Did you see this? All right. So a guy named Bad Chad at UMich Football on Twitter. So he tweeted, Urban Meyer kept grabbing his little pee-pee on national television. And Meyer over and over again was doing little weenie grabs on TV. Now, I've got a 10-year-old son and an 8-year-old son. You guys have probably heard him on the MGO podcast on the commercials. They love being famous. Right. And I can't get them to stop doing this. But I've never been caught like in a public setting, kind of like, doing the pinch and roll.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe tight pants.
It was really obvious. Like, it was a strange, it just keeps getting weird, right? So there's this twitch, there's like the scratching of the head, but then this little like pee-pee rolling. I really hope he's lost his mind. I want to see him lose it this weekend. I want to see him lose it. And here's the thing. Colin Cowherd came out yesterday, said he has sources that Urban Meyer's, done at Ohio State, that he's leaving at the end of the year.
Colin. Okay, Cowherd.
And if Cowherd, if Cowherd is accurate, I mean, that would be the second time that we've helped Urban abandon a program, wouldn't it?
Here's my thing on coaches, and this is true for all coaches. They have to be crazy. You have to be an insane person to do this job.
All right, so Seth, give me like your 30-second reasons. So if you think we're going to win, right? The 30 seconds why, and then give me your score. So
I think let me start with this. There was a tweet earlier today from Mike Weber, who subtweeted Karan Higdon, saying he guarantees a win. So Ohio State thinks they're pretty confident. And I think that Mike Weber got run out of his own state because he was afraid of Karan Higdon. So Michigan has been building towards this for a long time now. We've been out-coaching them the last couple of years. I think, there's always weird things that can happen in the Big Ten. There's always weird things that can happen in a football game. And Ohio State's not a terrible team by any stretch of the imagination. But they've been in so many close games this year to so many bad teams. The only loss they have was a blowout to a team that now has to beat Indiana just to get to a bowl game. What do I think? I think Ohio State has been on the precipice of cracking for all year. I think that they've been held up by a lot of luck this year. and they would have actually looked like a much worse team, maybe an 8-win or 7-win team this year with some luck swinging the other way. Offensively, I don't think Urban Meyer knows how to run an offense without a quarterback who can run as the engine of that offense. JT Barrett, as much crap as Ohio State fans gave him, was really holding that offense up. And the receivers are not well coached. The cornerbacks are not well coached. They're just all incredibly talented, which is a problem. They're going to hit us for some things. But I think the final score, what do you think? 31-23. Teron Higdon goes for 313 yards.
313. Little 313 for Mike Weber. Is that what you're going for right there? Plus the Biakavatuka?
And the Biakavatuka score.
Yeah, but that would be nice for him to hang a 313 from the guy from Detroit, wouldn't it? Little 313. Now listen, Seth, I love it. I agree with everything you said. I think it's going to be a little closer than that. And here's my key to this game is we have depth. You know, if Winovich plays, I think your score is probably accurate. If he doesn't play, I think we're going to go with my score. I don't think he's going to play. I think it's going to be 23-21 Michigan. I think we're going to see 3 field goals from Jake Moody. I think we're going to see 2 touchdowns from Teron Higdon. I think we're going to see good, efficient passing, but more running from Shea. And I think we're going to see a defensive line that dominates and an offensive line that dominates, because the trenches are where you win the game. And we finally have 2 units that I think can do just that.
If we do go to Indianapolis, are you jumping ship and meeting us there?
If we go to Indy, my beautiful wife, Sarah, the love of my life, the most amazing woman I ever met, has agreed to drop me off on the drive home from Florida in Indy. Tickets are secured. I got a terrible hotel room outside of town because I'm not spending $700 a night to stay downtown. And I will see you there because we are going to Indy and we're going to win that Big Ten championship. Seth, I want to end with one thing. I've been wearing a sweatshirt all week, the one that says those who stay will be champions. And it's about damn time that becomes true again. Let's go blue, baby.
Let's go blue.
All right. See you, man.
All right, bye.